Hey guys, it's Joel 9002 here at 2:26 a.m. on what is now Monday morning. I don't have to be to work till 3:30 in the afternoon, and I went ahead and wrote this story actually last weekend, but I decided to only release one a week because it seems like when I do more than one a week, you're just not interested, and that's fine. This one's called Night Butterfly. It's interesting. It's kind of out there. But if you'll just hang with me till the end, I'll get you through it. If you like it, let me know. If you hate it, let me know. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it. If you want to smash the like button, do it. But just don't smash your computer doing it. I love reading comments. I always respond. So here we go. This is Night Butterfly. It was in the midst of a rain last night when I saw something struggling outside the door in the light. It was flying into the wall, then out into the rain. Drops. The poor creature was in distress, and it was a winged creature, and so I cracked the door, hoping it would feel the warmth of the light and fly on in. We are not strangers to helping animals, even those of the winged kind. No, I was not. It was not a bat. No, it was not a bird. Ew. It was a moth, a giant moth. And as I watched it fly in and revolve around the light of our laundry room, a mysterious thought caught my mind. I was engrossed with that thought for the rest of the night. Moths are nothing but night butterflies. Oh sure, the ones you see flying during the day are really pretty, and usually moths are ugly and simply colored. But there is something you have to admit. Their defense mechanism, that is, the eyes at the bottom of their wings, are so cool. As I battened down the hatches and made sure nothing was leaking, I settled into bed, pondering the thought of a night butterfly. I wonder if I would cut it as a moth, or even a night butterfly. If I would be rejected like I am as a human. I close my eyes and drift off into La La Land, as I call it. I can't remember the last time I had a good night's sleep, but I try every night. This night was no different. I tossed and turned, hoping to get at least a little shut-eye. The good thing was, it was a Friday night, and I didn't have to get up on Saturday for anything. All my jobs are canceled till further notice. And thank heavens I still have my regular days off from my stable job at the mill. As I stare at the flickering candles, luminous candles, I like that they are flameless and also they have a remote control. I suddenly feel weightless and I hear the sound like a low buzz, and my line of sight has become much more comprehensive and almost perfect. And I take off to go hover around the light coming from the candles, where I am greeted by some other night-dwelling bugs, fireflies, mosquitoes, and a couple of beetles who were pretending to sing Beatles medleys like they were members of the band once. I pretended I didn't know any better and let them be. I am one of those who just go with the flow people. Whatever was happening, I just let it happen. Happy to be in a circle where I wasn't made to feel like a freak. A circle that just was there like me, just sitting there around listening to the Beatles. Sitting around a light source, I've never needed much to be comfortable, and this would prove it. I still had no idea what was going on, and I had not comprehended that I had become a night butterfly. For real. And the low buzz I heard was my own wings. The perfect sight was from my eyes not being human anymore. I had left my human body to become a night butterfly. And I gotta tell you, I looked amazing. I had purple brownish colored wings with bright blue eyes at the bottom for my defense mechanism. My body was bumpy, but I had a nice brown dress on and my legs were skinny. My antennae were just sensing everything. I look over at the poor slub in the bed over there, tossing and turning, hoping for something to change, but knowing nothing ever will. Then suddenly the candles turned off and the party was over. We had to fly off to find more light. But first, the mosquito went over to take a sip of blood from the body. She needed it because she had just laid her eggs, and she was going to be spent and in need of food. And she'd rather get it and store it, rather than lay eggs and then go looking for blood. Work smart, not hard, that was my motto I used at work. It seemed I was the only one that used it at work. I'd see people do crazy stuff and in ways that could have been just as fast done a different way, if not easier, and I would tell them, but they wouldn't listen. Not my manatees, not my circus. But all I could think of right now was finding a new light source to sit around. The only mission in life of a moth was to pollinate plants, and a moth caterpillar, which I was not, actually helped plants revolutionize themselves by creating self-made chemicals that the plants would use to make the leaves that the caterpillars and moths were eating seem unappealing. Interesting facts there. I didn't know that till the firefly told me. And then the mosquito said, "Y'all are just bat and bird food, and spiders love you too. That is why you are the party bug." Being a kind of new species of printed lady moth, I had only 12 months to live, and so I had to step up my game. I wanted to pollinate as much as I could, and I wanted to fly as much as I could before I lost my wings. After all, I was still not sure if I was in a dream or what was going on, but I was on a mission to enjoy being a party animal printed lady moth. More importantly, I was a lady. I had always had this vision of what a lady was in my head, and even though I have the parts that make me a lady, I was never grown enough, nor did I ever feel pretty enough to be one. Not to mention at the mill, people would constantly call me sir. Mostly new people, but that didn't make it hurt less. I wanted to spend as much time as I could in the current state of moth womanhood I could. Finally, after feeling like forever, I found a light source and buzzed around it for a while. Then I got tired and landed on it. I had just missed a spider web, thank goodness. The firefly said something, or else I would have been stuck. It was then the firefly and I sat talking for a while, and he told me I was a special breed of printed lady moth. I was not native to this area of Florida I was in, and that I should fly out into the night and try and find my way home. I had a total human YOLO moment, which means you only live once, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I took off and headed for the outside. As I ran into the door, thinking there was no glass, and figuring out I couldn't get out, I saw another way to escape, and I took it. The dryer vent. There was enough space for me to squeeze through, away, and I flew. I had forgotten to ask where I was native to, so I had no idea where I was going, but the freedom to go anywhere I wanted, without money, luggage, or reservations, was amazing. The moon was pretty bright and full, and the clouds were all gone, but I wondered to myself if I could buzz around the moon for a while, but I knew better. Just then I got swooped by something, and really had set back in that I was a moth. Reality had set back in that I was a moth, not a human, and that winged creature was more than likely a bat or a bird that was hungry. I got scared and flew down towards the window, where I could see the light I had previously been sitting at, and with my amazing hearing, I heard the firefly laughing and making jokes about how he ran off the lady. And the mosquitoes snickered too, you see. It was their castle and they didn't want to share it. After all, the beetles were enough of a burden. I felt a sting go through my body just then, hurt just like being bitten by a red ant. Then there was this ooze. Whatever winged creature was after me had just missed again, but caught me with their claw. I had to find a hiding place and figure out what I was supposed to do. I climbed into a tree and squished into a good hiding spot. I rubbed my legs together. I was thinking it was a natural thing to do, but it was not. Crickets. That only works for crickets, said this night beetle. The noise you're making, by doing the sounds like a swarm of newbies trying their hand at playing a violin. A mosquito squalled. It's very annoying for the night critters like me. So how you doing? Said the beetle. I'm fine, I guess. That stupid firefly in there told me I needed to go away. And I needed to go away to where I was native from, because I was in the wrong environment. Well, Not a total lie, said Bert the beetle. You would have died in that house. I said, I only lived for 12 months. What's it matter? Bert said, fan your wings out and turn around so I can see him. So I did, and he said, yep, I read them like a map. You are from West Virginia. How did you get down here, kid? I said, I don't know. 1 minute, I was a human. The next minute, I looked like this. Don't get me wrong, I looked better as a moth than I ever did as a human. The beetle said, nah, probably what happened was you saw a light and a human, and it was a windshield you smashed into. They came all the way down here for whatever reason, and they either swept you off the car, you fell off, and wearily slept it off under a leaf. Sure, I'll go with that, I thought to myself, and accidentally said out loud. Bert said, if you want to go to West Virginia, I have a pretty much guaranteed route where you can hang out on a piece of wood the whole way there, and you can fly halfway and ride halfway. I'd be glad to help you. I said, I appreciate that, Bert, thinking he was after a price for his help, and I had nothing I was willing to give him. Mostly, I didn't have anything to give him. It's okay. Can you just point me in the right direction, and I'll start heading that way? After all, before electricity, we used to follow the moon. You are correct, Bert said. And so he did as I asked him, pointed me in the right direction, and I took off, thanking him for his help, and I started a mission trip for me, the printed lady moth. I started flying north, or at least what my bug instinct said was Northland. I saw stars, I saw predators after me. I saw so many things that I had never seen before. I don't know how far I got. I got tired and found a spot to chill for the day. And when night fell again, I was up and buzzing around as I pollinated as much as I could, and then I got back on my mission to go to West Virginia. I stopped along the way at a gas station where there was a big gathering of bugs, and where the light was steady, to ask for some help from the local bugs. And they said I was on the right path and wished me luck. I got back out there and was flying what seemed like forever, and accidentally running into a road sign that said West Virginia. I was home! I looked and I looked all over for my kinfolks, and every time I asked the other bugs, they just laughed at me. And I kept flying around until I gave up. I started to pout, and I felt something buzz me. I was ready to be eaten by the predator that wanted me. So disappointed in myself. I was in myself, who cares? Buzz, 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 and I felt the final swoop coming. I just sat there. And then at the last second, a swipe, and I saw the predator go flying. And I turned around and looked and saw red glowing eyes looking right at me. I was mesmerized by them, and it was talking to me. He said, I understand what you're going through. Were you once a human too? Finally, someone understands. I started to talk, and the more I talked, the more human I started to feel. We sat by the light post just for the light. I still have my wings and antenna. I felt like I was in a partial Halloween costume. I connected with the man and just relocated to the West Virginia permanently. No one at home would miss me. And so Mothman showed me the ropes, and I made sure I was always nice to every insect no matter what. And it was the final month of my 12-month cycle of life, and I started to fade fast, but Mothman was there the whole time, just hanging on to me, telling me sweet things, and I would never believe coming from a human. I was so at ease, had such a great feeling of peace. I closed my eyes there in West Virginia and opened them here in Florida. I slept the whole night. It felt great and all because I had brought a moth in and out of the rain. I actually did that. It did come out of the rain, and it was huge. Later that morning, I found the giant moth and got it back outside. It had stopped raining. Wished it luck and thanked it for the dream. I could promise you that the eye on its wings actually winked at me. And from then on, I would sleep. And from then on, when I would sleep, I'd be the Mothman. I'd be with the Mothman. I attended the festival every year, oh yes. There is a Mothman festival in Mount Pleasant, West Virginia, in September now. Due to our pandemic this year, I don't know if it will happen, but I'll promote it anyway. Google says that it's set for September 19th and 20th of the year 2020. I know there are a few other YouTube channels that have videos on the subject. Pick one and check it out. Disclaimer: I have never been to the Mothman Festival, but I educated myself about the Mothman, and its festival is on my bucket list. There are a lot of good moth facts in this story. There's a lot of truosities in here, like moths actually do pollinate at night, and there are just a lot of facts in here, and I think they kind of differ from where the story is, so I think y'all are smart enough to figure it out. I see I've reached the 16-minute point. Well, after all, it was 6 pages. If you have to, split it up. Thanks for watching. This is Troll 9002 signing out. Have a great night.